and welcome to the MamaDoc BabyDoc Podcast. And Happy New Year!
Yay! Happy 2025. We are so excited for this year, and we hope it is a great year for you and your family. We're praying that your family is blessed this year.
Yeah, we really pray that you reach your goals for your family this year, whether that is starting a new family, expanding your
Yeah.
family, raising your little ones, or, like even preparing one day to have a family, but not
Right,
today.
right.
uh, we really pray that this year meets all your expectations and more.
And we talked about this, and we wanted to start off the new year, 2025, by reintroducing ourselves again and
Mhm.
talking about the goals for our podcast for this year, for 2025.
Yeah, we really have a lot of new listeners and new followers, and we wanted to reintroduce ourselves. So, Mom, why don't you start off by telling us who you are for those of you who might have
Hmm.
missed our first intro episode?
Okay, well, I am Renda. I am a board certified OBGYN physician. I've been practicing for 25 years. I'm also a mom of 7 children who are all adults now. And some of them are even raising families of their own. I also have 5 grandchildren, so I am pretty
Wow.
blessed.
You sound really old.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I'm old.
You actually look
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
for being a grandmother.
Sure.
Definitely goals, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah. So I live currently in Homer, Alaska, which is the most beautiful place on earth. And I say it's the cryopreservation of Alaska that keeps us young.
Oh,
But
it's so cold. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I am
Sounds
still
great.
practicing. Yep, still practicing. My husband and I, in addition to both being physicians, we have a peony farm. So we grow flowers. And I live on a spectacular flower farm in Alaska, and I have views of glaciers and a beautiful bay, mountains right from my front living room. Even now, I can look out and see the bay and the glaciers and the mountains. So it's really beautiful. My husband and I love to hike. We love to travel. We do a lot of traveling. And that's
Mhm.
kind of our goal, is not to wait until we're retired to travel, but to do it all now so that we can spend all of our money. So there's no retirement, no money left for our children when we die.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
it's your turn, Rachel.
We get nothing. I love that.
You get nothing. I know. I'm going to spend it
That's
all.
okay. You deserve it. You spend it all. That's fine. Well, I'm Rachel. I am a board certified pediatrician, and I currently live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I practice in Pueblo, Colorado, which is just south of Colorado Springs. I work for a private practice. I see kids of all ages in clinic. And I also see newborn babies in the hospital, which I really love.
Yay.
Uh, yeah. So for fun, I have a 10-month-old child. So that's what I do for fun. But if you missed episodes last year, I had him in February of last year, and there is actually an episode on my birth story. So if you missed that, go back and check it out. But yeah, most of my days now are full of watching him grow and learn, which I actually
Aw.
really love.
Yeah.
I yeah, I really love taking him new places. Like we go to the zoo here in Colorado Springs a lot. He's been like 4 times. I really love that. And just seeing him look at the animals is fun. We
Yeah.
also have taken him on hikes around here. And really, he's my sidekick. He goes with me
Yeah.
everywhere I go, which is fun. Um, I,
He's even been to Alaska. He has been
he
here.
has,
So
he
he's been on
has,
lots of trips. Yes. It's
he
a
has, yes.
well-traveled baby.
I think he's been on a plane a few times, lots of
Yeah.
plane rides, different
Yeah, he
places.
went to Tennessee. He went to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're planning a trip to the beach for his 1-year birthday. So he'll go on another plane
Ooh.
ride.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, we like traveling. I really love spending time with my family. So anytime I can travel to spend time with family, I love that. And I like to read as well. Little dork over here.
Yep.
My, my husband John, he's a CRNA. He also works in Pueblo, and he really likes to hunt and fish. And he's always trying to get me to go camping with him, which I do. I have been a few times, and I do enjoy. He just likes to go when it's so cold outside, and I am not a fan of the cold. But
Yeah.
we actually took JJ camping at 3 months of age, and that was definitely an adventure. I'll have to talk more about that at some point. But so Mom, why don't you tell us when someone asks you what the MamaDoc BabyDoc
Hmm.
podcast is, what do you tell them?
I tell them that our podcast is designed for women who are pregnant, want to be pregnant, have recently been pregnant, and moms of small children. We give practical advice and tips and evidence based advice on pregnancy, childbirth, delivering babies, on raising small children. And that we really want to strive to give good evidence because the internet, TikTok, Instagram, it's filled with
Mhm.
so much misinformation out there. um, Misinformation about so many things related to healthcare especially. And I think I just wanted to start this podcast to kind of be a voice of reason instead of
Yeah.
all the crazy voices that are out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And just to add to that, I would say it's also for maybe people who don't have kids right now but want to have kids, or
Yeah.
people who have had kids and maybe are having grandchildren, because
Yeah.
stuff changes.
Right.
And even dads, or uncles, anyone who maybe is going to be supporting someone who's going to be pregnant or delivering a baby or having a baby. So we really want it to be for like everyone. And you're so right. If you just get on the internet for 1 second, you will see all of and it's really just everyone's opinions. Everyone
Right.
has one
Right.
experience, and that's the end all be all. I have a cousin who they got the measles vaccine, and a year later she was diagnosed with autism. So the measles vaccine must give autism.
Right.
It's like everyone's opinions on things. And
Right. And yeah,
yeah.
and it's not just that. There's also a lot of um, almost shaming out there for women. If you don't do it this way, you
Mhm.
have
Oh
to
yeah.
have your baby all natural, no medication.
Mhm.
You have
And
to,
it's
I don't know,
and there's
squat
opinions
and
for
push your
both
baby out in the
sides.
field.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's
it's
opinions for both sides. Like, you have to have an epidural, and if you don't, you're dumb. Or you have to not have an epidural. If you get an
right,
epidural, you're weak.
right,
Or the same with breastfeeding. You have to breastfeed your baby, and if you don't or you can't, you're a bad mom. And
right.
it's about the little things too. Like, when you change your baby's diaper, you shouldn't lift their legs all the way up. It's bad for their hips. You should spin them to the side. Like, it's just,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of crazy stuff out there to
right.
really make you feel bad about how you're doing things,
Yeah,
honestly.
it definitely does. It makes you feel like no one can ever quite measure up. And
Mhm.
yeah, and I just wanted to be a voice of reason, right? Because
Yeah.
um, there's also when I first started practicing medicine back in the olden days,
Cut
people
it off.
cared about my opinion. When I would say this is how we do things, they actually thought that meant something. And
Yeah.
now, and it's not that this is necessarily bad, but everyone questions medical advice. They want to
Yeah.
know why. And I would like to tell them why we do things the way that we do things. But it's almost as if there's a mistrust of
There
doctors
is.
now. And
There
because
is.
you're a doctor, obviously you want them to do something a certain way. And that's just not true. We
Yeah.
just want to provide the best evidence-based advice that we can for you. So I was hoping that we could let people know that we're just real people that don't take ourselves too seriously,
Yeah.
but we actually read the literature and the studies, and we know what they mean, and here's why we recommend certain things, not just this is how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're so right. There's so much mistrust. And it's really sad because honestly, I would say most of the doctors that I know are really just care, honestly, so much about
Yeah.
people and are really just trying to help.
Right.
Um, and it makes me sad that people say, "Oh, I went to the doctor and they told me this and it was wrong." Well,
Guess what? Doctors aren't perfect, and sometimes they will be
yeah.
incorrect, but more often than not, there's a shred of truth to what they've told you.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're really just honestly, we're all just trying to help. And so
Right.
you're right. We just want to show that we're real people. We have trained really hard in order to
For a
know
long
how to
time.
for a long time to know how to read studies and to give you that evidence-based, practices, but also like we see this stuff in and out all day,
Every
every day.
day.
So we
Every
can
day.
tell, maybe you had one cousin that this happened to 10 years ago, but I can tell you the I've seen hundreds of
Thousands and
kids,
thousands.
yeah, in
Yes.
the past couple weeks, and this does not happen. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we could talk
Yeah.
about that forever, but that's why we started this podcast because we really care and we want to give you a place to come, and hopefully you can trust us, and hopefully you trust your own doctor, your own provider,
Right.
but hopefully you can trust us to give you kind of the evidence-based practices and why things are done the way they're done.
Right.
Anyways, but our podcast is kind of the structured. Each week we talk about a new topic. And we created it so that you can skip around and pick topics that are going to be the most helpful to you based on whatever season of life you're in. We have already covered so many topics last
Right.
year in both pregnancy, delivery, having a newborn, and we have so many more topics to cover this year. So pick some of the ones from last year. Maybe if you are getting ready, you just found out you're pregnant. I know there's one on,
Mm.
I just found out I'm pregnant. Now what do I do? Or
Yeah.
the first prenatal tests. We talked all about the prenatal tests that you will have done and the different times during your pregnancy. Or if you have a newborn, we talked about the first newborn appointment. So we really hope that you can skip around and kind of listen to the episodes that would mean the most to you.
Right. And we are just really excited for 2025. Last year was our first year, and we were just figuring out how this whole podcast thing. And
Yeah.
now in 2025, we have so much planned for this year, so many exciting episodes. And we also really encourage all of our listeners to message us on Instagram or through the podcast notes, however, online. But just let us know if there are topics that you're interested in, if there are questions that you have. We love to hear from our listeners. Yeah.
Yeah, and we really have had so many of you guys reach out with topics that you want to hear about or have questions, and we're really going to try this year to get to them all and get all of the
Yeah.
topics out there.
Yeah. Yeah. This year, we plan to cover topics in obstetrics like how to get pregnant, like people that have infertility. There's going to be topics on that. During pregnancy and delivery, what to expect. We also plan to cover topics in pediatrics, like what's it like having a newborn in your home, breastfeeding,
Mhm.
raising the baby, dealing with a sick child.
Yeah.
And then also, we plan to cover some general mom topics and questions about just being a mom. That is the great thing about our position. We're both moms and have experienced so much.
Yeah.
So we hope that we can share a little bit of that with you.
Yeah, we really also hope to let you kind of in on our lives and give you our personal experiences on things. So, hopefully that will tell you you're not alone in what you're going through. And hopefully you can really relate to what we're going through or what we have been through. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a bonus, we have some special guests planned for this year. We're so
Yay.
excited and can't wait to share everything with you guys. Yay.
Yeah, we have a couple episodes with a couple moms, other people who are moms who we can kind of chat about their birth story, things that they're going through in the moment, kind of hopefully to help it be helpful to you guys. Anyways, yeah,
Yay.
we're super excited about 2025 and we can't wait. We hope that you guys love it.
And that's all we have for this small intro episode. We hope that you will tune in and join us for more episodes. And I hope that you all have a wonderful year in 2025.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Bye.
Year. Bye.